Here we go. Now, like I said before, I did do some grinding in my off time here. So we have a nice little level 26 party here to try this again. We're going to do it. We're going to go back into that marsh and we're going to kick butt. I mean, we've got better gear. We've got better magic. I think we've got this one covered this time. We got it. We know we got a game plan going in. See? Yeah, we're kicking butt now. I'm feeling good about this one. Well, I still am not going the right way when it comes to getting to this marsh cave. Not wasting any magic this time on the way in unless I absolutely have to. So, yes, I part of the problem, I think, was just, one, I just did not have enough magic. I did not have enough items. I did not have... The levels weren't necessarily the problem, as much as it is I didn't have the stuff that went with it. Gear I had. I mean, pretty good. This time, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to get the treasures, I'm going to get everything. We should be able to take care of most of these things. Like I said, I'm trying to keep down on the minimum on the magic here, because even if I'm super buffed up, I don't want to blow all my MP getting down there. Actually, you know what? I said I was going to get the treasures this time, but you know what? I'm not going to. I'm actually going to just skip the treasures right now, because if I recall, I got to come back down here at some point when I've got the mystic key to open up some of the other doors, so I can get all the other treasures then. And it's not like I'm speedrunning this or anything. I'm not trying to do this quickly. If I was, I would really not be doing myself any justice. Yay, Cave 3. Now I just need to remember exactly where I need to go? I also loaded up plenty on potions this time. Got a Phoenix down. That'll be useful. Just in case someone goes down during this. I hate these slimes. I am going to use some magic here. Just do a quick fire spell on this, just to get rid of it. Oh, yeah, other chest. No, that's not where it's at. Yeah. Nope, that's the missing chest. I just can't remember if it's... Oh yeah, see, this is Mystic Key. All the ones on the bottom are Mystic Keys, so I'm gonna have to come back here once I find the Mystic Key, so... We're ending up visiting some of these rooms anyway. There we go. But this time there's only 2? Was it just me, or was there like 5 last time? I obtained the crown? What did I need a crown for? I was looking for a Mystic Key. This will be interesting. What do I use the crown for? Okay, so the gray oozes just take like normal damage. Like the green oozes are the ones that are like the super insanely high defense, it seems. All the way back up. That's not where I wanted to go. There's where I wanted to go. I hate that I have to leave this cave. Like, manually leave the cave. Can't you just, like, teleport me out when I got the thing? Oh, should have had everyone... Ah, that was my bad. Attack the tarantulas, not the slime. I really wonder what determines how many hits you get to make. There we go. Hey, we got some more levels here. 27. Okay, no, we're just gonna leave the slimes. You guys are annoying. I don't like the slimes. Okay, Marsh Cave B1. We're back at the top. Oh, now we can wander over back to the Western Keep and see what we can do about, I don't know, figuring out where the Dark Elf Prince is? I assume that's who you're supposed to give the crown to, considering he's a prince, or dark elf king, or something. Dark elf, whoever's in charge. His name is Astos. I remember that. It's the only thing I know about him. See, the things outside are sometimes even worse than the things that were inside the dungeon. I mean, at least in that first area. I mean, I don't think it's going to get worse than the... I feel like I've got gypped on that Psycho Demon thing, or the Pico Demon, or whatever they are. Are you telling me I could have come back and there would have only been like maybe one or two of them? Because I think if there was just one or two of them, I could have handled myself last time just fine. Even with the 90 damage. I think I could have lasted long enough that I could have taken out two. I think so. Maybe I couldn't have. Maybe I wouldn't have. I don't know. Seems like I could have, though. But, like, I'd have to go back and look, but it was, like, 4 or 5 instead. Yay, Western Keep. Now I just need to figure out where I need to go in here. Aha, door! Oh, the king. Wahaha! You fools fell right into my trap. I am Astos, king of the dark... Oh, I wonder if we were supposed to talk to this guy before we went to the Marsh cave. I couldn't find a door that was unlocked in here. And just blended in with the scenery, I guess. I am Astos, king of the dark elves. Oh no! With the combined power of the crown you now hold in the crystal eye I already possess, I will become the true elf king. It is useless to resist me. I can take what is mine by sheer force. He's one Krampus-looking dude. Is that a hat on the middle of his head? Or... let's see. Just throw a quick heal on everybody. Because I can't tell if it's like a horn sticking out of the middle of his head or a hat. Because some of the goblins and everything have weird little hats like that. Oh geez, Cass's death? Oh, well, that's over with. I got 2,000 gil. Nice. You obtained the crystal eye. And now we get to play the trading game. See, there's treasure over there. You can see it really quick. See? Over there. But how do I get over there to the next room? Over there. These are the worst designed castles. Yep, missed a key. Ah, glitchies. I don't know. Yeah, looks like we just do the trading game now. We have all the pieces in place, so we go... We'll give the crystal eye to Matoya. She will presumably give me something to wake up the Elf Prince. And then I'm hoping the Elf Prince gives me the magic key. I hope. I'm really hoping the Mystic Key isn't something that's like, oh yeah, you found this 3/4 of the way through the game. Now remember everywhere that you have to go and unlock things. That would just be a pain. And it would not be the first time I've seen a game do that. Ugh. I'm going to like single-handedly cull the entire population of wolves in these forests. I think after a while they'd stop actually trying to fight me. You know what? No. I'm just gonna... tired of fighting you guys. You guys keep jumping me in these woods. Nope, no one's running? Nope, okay, we're not able to get away. Okay, fine. We'll just kill all of you. I mean, you're not going to win this fight one way or the other, so I don't know why you're even trying. You should have let me just get away, because... yeah. I can cast that. You know, I'm just noticing, I never quite put that together, though. In Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO, Black Mages get Fire 2, which is a multi-target AoE version of their fire spell. I always thought that was weird. I'm like, shouldn't it... It's the first time I've ever seen an enemy run away. Shouldn't Fire 2 just be a stronger version of Fire 1 instead of just a multi-attack version? But now it's making sense. Now I go back to this one and remind myself that in Final Fantasy 1, it's Fire or Fire 2. Yeah, for all of the younger listeners out there, way back when this first came out on the Nintendo Entertainment System, they didn't use the raga suffixes for any of the spells. It was strictly Fire, Fire 2, and Fire 3. Which is where the numbering in 14 ends up coming from. But what I was saying is, now I see here that the raw version of the spell, the Fire 2, would be essentially a multi-attack version, and Fire 3 would be the more damaging version of Fire. We're just going to stop in here and sleep at the inn really quick. Not that I'm really worried, but... I'm just cautious. So that's where that whole thing ends up coming from. Which is neat, because it's one of those things that I didn't really pay attention to. Just like I didn't pay attention to the fact that the warrior's hair appears to be brown in a lot of these field scenes, but is pretty clearly blonde in the battle scenes. See, watch. See? It goes up like 3 shades. Same thing with the white mage. His hair is very clearly... her? I don't know. their hair is very clearly a brown on the world map sprites, but is brilliant blonde in the battle sprites. It's just neat. I am so glad they did get rid of this, like, fights on the boat thing, though. Alright, let's check the map to make sure I know where I'm going. I think I'm on the wrong side of this landmass. Buccaneers? I don't think I've actually fought these guys before. It's mostly been Sahagin and sharks. Gotta go under the bridge. Up here. Pretty sure these guys are all pretty low level at this point. We go up here to Matoya. A Black Widow. Please tell me it casts like insta-kill like attacks. No? I thought that would have been cool. Matoya!
Oh, what's this? My crystal eye? Give it here. Don't worry, I have something to give you in exchange. Take this potion. It's the most amazing potion in my entire collection.
You obtain Jolt Tonic. It has twice the caffeine of normal sodas, or tonics. Do they even make Jolt Soda anymore? I honestly don't know, and the broom is blocking the door. Move, broom! Thank you. I take the Jolt Tonic. Because the kid's been asleep, so you need the caffeine to wake him up. I don't know about the boat song is just so cheery compared to, well, hell, everything. Got in a fight in the harbor because I couldn't pull in right. Now we go to the castle, which I apparently can only enter from one direction. Hello, elves. Hello. No, no, you're not cutting me off this time. Not this time. Here, kid. Here, give this to him.
This Jolt tonic may just be what we need to break the curse and awaken the prince.
Caffeine?
I will try it at once. Your Highness? Your Highness!
I was having a terrible nightmare. Am I still dreaming? You're the legendary warriors. You are surprisingly up to date for someone who's been asleep for 5 years. Something tells me I'm not dreaming. Okay, but normally when you see legendary warriors hanging out in your bedroom, you're still dreaming. I shall follow the legend that has been told to me and my forefathers. The time for me to pass on the mystic key to its rightful owners has come at last. You obtain the mystic key. Is that it?
Thanks to you, the prince has finally awoken. You have my undying gratitude. You've brought peace back to Elfheim.
It looked pretty peaceful to begin with. He was just sleeping. I am awake and strong again, all because of you. I don't know about strong, you've been asleep for 5 years. Atrophy, man. Thank you, Warriors of Light. Now, let's go see if we can find some locked treasure that we can peruse using the mystic key. There's just this place back here, but how do I get to it? Elfo, get out of my way. Do I have to walk around the edge of the castle, or? I guess so. Be nice to know where the edge of... Oh!
The treasure house has been bound by the mystic key.
Well, I don't even need to use it. I'm just guess having it. The mithril hammer has been obtained. 800 gil has been obtained. 700 gil obtained from the chest. Bronze gloves obtained from the chest. There. All right. Let's go back to see the Western Keep and the Marsh to use the key. Gather up all the stuff there. Treasure hunting run! I don't know, multi-hit mechanic, what do you think? Good, bad? I personally think it's a kind of a neat feature, but... I mean, I suppose it really ultimately doesn't do anything different than just normal scaling damage, other than maybe give a reason, an in-the-universe reason for why the damage would be getting higher. It's like, oh no, it's because you're hitting it multiple times. Because it's not like it has a clear... I mean, if there was a chance that it's like, oh hey, one of your hits got blocked. Which I think is something that they did add into like later games that used the multi-hit. If I remember correctly. Wait. See, now I'm doubting myself. Now, do they even have multi-hit in other games? I wanted to say like 12 and stuff had it, right? But it was just one of those things where it's like, I'm not even entirely sure that... Oh. I was hoping I could scoot over to the other area without having to go around this entire way. Wait, what? How are there only enemies inside the treasure room? The Falchion. Oh, seriously? Power Staff. Steel Gloves. See, that one, I went ahead and just... Oh, that's nice. That one I just went ahead and opened from the side, because I had a hunch that if I tried to open it straight from ahead, I'd have another battle on my hands. Trap chests and all that. At least we're getting some good treasure out of these. It seems like at least a worthwhile thing to go back and try and get all this stuff. But since we're just kind of running around and grabbing stuff, let's have a little bit of a story time here. My earliest... And feel free to share your own if you'd like. My earliest experience with the Final Fantasy franchise, since we're going back and looking back at this point. Like I said, I had only been casually aware of the games back on the NES days. Like this Final Fantasy I, when it came out in America, I was aware of it. I had friends who were big fans. The very friends that ended up getting me into video gaming to begin with. But I never played it myself. I was much more of a Zelda, Mario action type gaming. Mega Man was another big one. It is up here, actually. Anything? Big long tunnel for nothing. So I never really got into like the old school RPGs. I never played Dragon Warrior or Final Fantasy or anything like that. None of the turn-based combat games, at least. Oh! There's a stairway down? Which just leads to... I have no idea where this is. I'm honestly kind of confused now. And it probably was a good thing. I mean, when the Nintendo came out, when I got my Nintendo, I was, I want to say, 6 years old? I did not have the patience for a turn-based RPG at that point. I just didn't. I couldn't. I tried playing other games that I would pick up that looked cool. I would pick up like Maniac Mansion and things like that, and then just be utterly frustrated with it when I try to play it at home. So it was probably for the best I never got into a turn-based game. It wasn't until 1992? 3? The Super Nintendo. Oh, we meet again, Scorpions! This time, I am prepared for you. I even have antidotes this time. So at that point, my best friend had already been playing a lot of Super Mario, things like that, on his Super Nintendo. And ultimately, he was the one who introduced me more into like RPGs. Either it was Final Fantasy IV, or Final Fantasy II as it was called at the time. He would bring it over or he would show it to me when I was over his house. I was blown away by this. Like, just the idea of this big, intricate story with all these characters that could do different things. This was mind-blowing to me. Because at this point, I'd been used almost exclusively to little to no storytelling in my games, outside of what the strategy guide or the instruction booklet would provide you. Combined with the fact that your character, I mean, you might have a character that can do lots of stuff, but you never really had any sort of specializations. You never had different characters that you would switch between to do just one or two things. And that all these characters had their own stories and they all connected to each other. I mean, I was, not even 10 years old at this time. And I had read, in terms of like literature at that point, I had read The Hobbit, fiddled with the Fellowship of the Rings. Didn't get too deep into it. I never could. Fellowship. Here's something that'll allow you to yank my nerd card away from me. I cannot stand Fellowship of the Rings, the book. Okay, the fact that you spend 60 pages, or what feels like 60 pages at least, going on and on about the entire genealogy of the frickin' Shire. No. I couldn't. I just can't. It's just nothing but a headache for me. Anyway. But I was enamored with the fantasy genre. I loved Zelda. I loved the idea of dragons and magic and things like that. I had actually made my own... I had a notebook where I had written in and done up this entire mock-up of... Well, a mock-up as I understood it as a 8-year-old of a Zelda clone, if you will. It actually ended up becoming half Zelda, half Final Fantasy in my head, with like equipable armor slots and things like that. So, I mean, it was one of those things where it's like I was already very vested into it. And then they showed me Final Fantasy 4, and I just fell in love. I never actually was able to finish it because at the time, I didn't have the game. I never ended up. I actually, to this day, do not own a copy of Final Fantasy II on the Super Nintendo, and it's one of my great sadnesses that I never actually got around to actually getting a copy of it. But by the time I actually had, got around to actually buying my own games, it was apparently so rare that it was a used copy was going for about $100 at that time, and I didn't have that kind of money. I was used to buying my used games for like 10 to 15. And usually with trade-in credit. So I never actually got to own it. I never actually got to finish playing it. I rented it several times, but the problem was that, with games back then was the save game stayed with the cartridge. So I would lose my save every single time the rental was over. And I was never ever able to make any progress. I always ended up getting stuck on the same part every time I ended up playing. And when we actually get around to playing Final Fantasy IV in this retrospective, I will happily show you where I always used to get stuck. But it was just one of those things. It was mind-blowing, the fact that you could have different equipment. You could tailor your equipment to what you wanted to do. Tailor your weapons to certain things. Have different characters that were really like, oh, do you need a caster for this? What type of caster do you need for this? Do you need a summoner? Do you need white magic? Do you need black magic? There's differences between the two. That Cecil became a paladin, and for the longest time, a fun story on that, a spin-off on that. I used to think paladin was like a copyrighted thing by Square Enix or Square Soft at that point. I thought it was like something that they came up with. And it took me a lot of time because, this is pre-internet, pre-Google, trying to figure out if anyone could use paladins. It wouldn't be for several years that I would learn about Dungeons and Dragons or anything else, and find out that, no, the paladins are a very, very common concept. But yeah, that was my first experience with it, and it was just one of those things where it's like, oh wow, it changed the way I thought about like how you could tell a story. I think honestly that's ended up shaping my future more than anything else. Was my desire to that opening my eyes to the variable different ways that you could tell a story, because it's like, the games could be more than just silly fun. It's not that anything's wrong with silly fun. I still love games that are just silly fun. I play them all the time. But at the time, I didn't know that there was anything but that. And it kind of blew my mind. And to this day, I still operate under the idea of wanting to tell interesting stories not bound by the simple restraints of how should I put this? Not bound by the simple constraints of linear, static storytelling. Like, I write. I went to school to learn to be a writer. I still write. I love writing. But you know what I get a bigger kick out of than my writing? My D&D campaigns. Because that's telling a story where it's not just, you know, there's no set path. The story evolves and changes, and there are multiple different ways of telling it. You have a backstory, you have the active story, and the active story is changing, and I love it. I really do. I have an entire wiki devoted just to keeping track of the world and the universe that my D&D games have ended up creating and spawning with all of the players. Because I set it all, I usually try and set it all within the same universe, multiverse, and that means they bleed over into each other and stuff like that. And that motivation, that desire to tell these massive, branching, dynamic stories, all rooted probably in my first discovery of Final Fantasy, despite the fact that Final Fantasy, it's a bit of a linear story. There's no real branching paths in here, but it was just opening up to the fact that you could have this kind of interactive narrative. As you kind of went on, I think that really just kind of changed the way I thought about stories. And, I don't know if I want to get into it here right now, but we got time since I'm going to get in here, because there's, you know, the first Final Fantasy I actually owned. When I was... So it was after I had moved out of state when I was a kid. Living in a new part of the country, living with a very different type of mindset. It was a different time for me, because this was about the time I was learning more about who I was, in the sense of the fact that 11-year-old kid learning that he had a mental illness, and how to live with that, how to deal with that, ending up playing a big part of my life back then. Oh look, more of these guys. And it was around that time, in the middle of all of this stuff that was going on in my life, that I got a copy of Final Fantasy III, or 6, as it is properly known. And, that was a birthday gift for me. I think it was my 11th. Yeah, it would have been my 11th birthday. I had just been diagnosed as bipolar, which was weird for a number of reasons. Partially that back then, this was, you know, pre-internet, early 90s type of thing. 11-year-olds did not have bipolar disorder. I just, as I've come to, as it's been explained to me, it's just one of those things that did not happen at all. You know, you just didn't diagnose kids with that sort of thing. They didn't get it. That was something that didn't happen until, what the heck? Weird. Until you were older. So diagnosing me was an uphill battle. For my psychiatrist. And it was even a harder time trying to figure out what type of a medication an 11-year-old should be taking for this sort of thing. My life was just kind of a huge, kind of a tossing and turning mess at that point. And that, at that time, is when I got, as I said, my copy of Final Fantasy III. And, I mean, we'll see more of this when we actually get into playing 6, eventually down the line. Because, as I said, this retrospective, it's going to go all the way through. I intend on revisiting all of these games. And with that, that game helped me get through a lot of the hard times. Both through having something to distract me and giving me a lot of positive influences in a life when at a point in my life when I really had a serious lack of them, when everything kind of just looked bad and dark. Thanks for the antidote. Weird thing to put in a chest down here. Or at least behind a mystic key door. I've got to secure this antidote, you know. Yeah, it was one of those things, and it's reason that this series has stuck with me more than anything else in my life. It's just kind of one of those things that's been a constant, and it's been a constant force for good in my life. From the stuff inspiring me to pursue storytelling in new and interesting ways. To keeping me afloat in probably the darkest time of my life. One of the darkest times, at least. To inspiring me to get involved in things like going to anime conventions and checking out cosplay, because my first girlfriend and I cosplayed as Squall and Renoa from Final Fantasy VIII at one of our very first conventions that we went to back in high school. Ages ago, it seems. But yeah, again, Final Fantasy was there. Final Fantasy was a part of that. So yeah, I mean, feel free to share your own stories, either in the chat, or if you're watching this on VOD, in the comments. I would love to hear it. I'd love to hear how this game series has affected and helped and inspired and everything people out there. It's just one of those things where it's like, what did Final Fantasy do for you? What was Final Fantasy to you? Was it just a game? Was it just fun? That's okay. Doesn't have to change the world for you. It could just be, hey, this is a game series that I have really liked. That's amazing. We all should be so lucky as to have a franchise or game series that we can always come back to and enjoy. I think that's wonderful. I mean, my wife and I have Kingdom Hearts. We play Kingdom Hearts. We replay Kingdom Hearts constantly. Oh yeah, I finally did get Poisona. And it's, I mean, there's no super special, I don't have any super amazing memories or magical times directly associated with Kingdom Hearts. Other than, I like Final Fantasy, I like Disney, I like Kingdom Hearts. And it's, you know, nothing wrong with that. You just like things. And there's no wrong Final Fantasy to like, in my opinion. Really. You'll hear people going, oh, well, this was the good one, or this is when the series went downhill, or... And that's another reason I wanted to go through, and go through the entire franchise with people on here. Was just... I don't think there is... I said this on Twitter a while back. I don't think there is a bad Final Fantasy. And you know, some people are like, well, what about some of the mobile games? I'm like, look, there are some pretty scummy practices on the mobile market. Final Fantasy is not excluded from that. But you know what? None of those games... I would not consider those games to be bad games. I would consider them to their monetization to be bad and scummy and downright bad practices, but I would not call the actual game mechanics bad. I just wouldn't. I've tried them all. I mean, some are less inspired, but... I'm not gonna sit here and say anything was crap by any means. And the same goes with the main series too, though, you know? Final Fantasy, any of them can be your favorite. Any of them can be your least favorite. We all have different tastes. I have a varied relationship with a lot of these, and I'm pretty sure I'm doubling back on a lot of these doors, but I think we got everything we actually needed. I've made it no secret. I mean, you could check my blog, you could check my website. I've done a number of opinion pieces on Final Fantasy games. I did a whole text short retrospective for the days leading up to the month leading up to Final Fantasy 15. Back when that came out. So, you know, there's ones I don't like. There's ones that I think are problematic. There's ones that I think that are less good. And there's ones that I absolutely love. And I love them despite the fact that I know that some of them aren't good. I love the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy. Love it. Can't wait to get to that point in this retrospective. Because I love them that much. I just do. I mean, there's other games I can't wait to get to either, but... I mean, I can't wait to play 6 again. Cannot wait to play 6. 6 is going to be amazing. I can't wait to try that game out again. But I know that 13 has problems, but I still love it. set up for reasons, you know, I can get into, I can talk about forever. But my point is the fact that there's no right or wrong list of Final Fantasies. Everybody has their own personal, like, this number greater than this number, greater than this number. See it all the time on, like, message boards and stuff like that. Everyone has their own personal list. But that's what it is. It's a personal list. Really, whatever you enjoy playing is good. You know? I know some people that think that this is the best one. This was the peak. And I know some of them who think that just... How am I getting into, like, every single step I'm finding something? But yeah, no, they say that because... Why? Oh, because they played this one with their big brother. You know, back in the day. They would play it together and they beat it together and it was like, oh, it's amazing. And that's why this is their favorite. And they think this is the best one. Cool. Good on ya. Nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of people like 7 for similar reasons. It's the first one they played. It kind of changed their view on gaming. It blew their minds. And you know what? That's great. Nothing wrong with that. I personally think 7 could use some improvement, but I mean, heck, that's why I'm enjoying looking forward to the rest of the remakes. Which I don't know if is going to be part of this retrospective, honestly, the remakes of 7. Same with the rest of the spin-offs from 7, the Dirge of Cerberus and Crisis Core and all that stuff. I might include them. I know I'm planning on doing Tactics to tie into 12, because they both take place in Ivalice. And plus, I never was able to finish Tactics, and I'd really like to give it a try. But no, I just don't want anyone thinking I'm leaving those off the list because I have some personal, like, oh, this I don't want. These ones aren't real Final Fantasies. Nothing could be further from the truth. Real reason is, don't have a good way of getting them on PC. I'm having to use an emulator for this one, and I was able to find an emulator to get War of the Lions? But I just, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I just don't have a good way of playing them for this. I don't have a physical copy, which makes me not want to use an emulator for it. Because at least I have physical copies of Tactics and Dawn of Souls. There's supposed to be a place I can use the Mystic Key in here. Yeah, a lot of the omissions from the list of games to stream for this retrospective really came down to how easy is it for me to actually get a functioning copy going. Okay, old man, I see you up there. How do I get up to you? Seriously? How do I get up to the old man? Do I have to use the stairs? Nope. I can't even walk around the edge of the castle grounds, you know, so... Can you? Okay, this isn't roof. This is just... The tiles had me tricked. I thought this was part of the wall. Yay, we got to the room. Saber. Cottage. Mithril knife. And I glitched out the screen. Tent. Iron armor. You obtained nitro powder. That's the thing those Rally Ho guys were talking about. But before we go see them, we still have one more stop to make on our Mystic Key tour. Ah. Real quick swing into the inn. Recharge all my batteries. Let's see here. Head up to the Chaos Shrine. All of you should be able to kill these things in one hit. All of you should. That includes you wizards. Yes, good. Oh no, I was ambushed by goblins. This feels like it's starting to get back to that point where I could just start getting attacked every step. Spooky Chaos Shrine. Unlock. Empty chest. A ghoul? That's worse than a zombie, I think. What is the hierarchy there? I can't hold anymore. I'm assuming that means it was a potion. There. Yep, that's what I thought. Poor Black Widows. All they wanted to do was eat flies. I'm getting ambushed by gargoyles. That actually makes sense in a rundown castle. Werebuster. I'm curious what Werebuster actually turns out to be. Is it like a sword or a dagger? Or... It's a sword! Against werebeasts. Oh, jeez. I'm assuming the wolf was a werebeast? Or not. Just maybe it's a good sword. Yeah, wizards clean the house. Alright. Ooh, a 5-hitter. And Rune Blade, which is sword effective against spellcasters. Well, at least now we're getting some specialized weapons. Alright, I think now we're ready to go back to Mount Twergar. And I'm sure that some of these names have not gone unnoticed by those of you who play Final Fantasy XIV and have experienced its most recent expansion, Shadowbringers, where you'll run into such locations as Mount Twergar, Mount Golg, elves, I don't think it's a coincidence that that expansion takes place on a parallel world called The First. That's all I'm gonna say. Whoa! Crazy Horse! This is the first time I've seen this. I don't think I've ever seen one of these before. Can I catch it? No? Okay. It's worth asking. I know it's not Pokemon, but... where do I need to go? All the way up there. don't know if I'm on the right side or the wrong side of the mountains for this, but... we will see. Oh, right side! Ha ha ha! Hello, silly dwarves. I know you have a mystic key room down here somewhere. Nope. Oh, wait, we're seeing the dwarves. We've gotta... no, I haven't talked to Smith the Smith yet. Or I did. Lally ho! Even do a little dance for it. Just trying to remember where... that's Smith the Smith. Oh yeah, he needs the adamantite, that's right. He doesn't need the nitro powder. That's the other dude that's way down here. Aha! Treasure room. Cottage. Hill. Mithril mail. I can't hold anymore. Worm killer. That's a good name. All right.
Nitro powder. The explosive force in this powder will have Kerna up a new template. I owe you, kids.
Don't you mean Warriors of Light?
No, I mean kids.
There we go.
Now we can blitter this rock to smithereens.
What are ye all standing around for? That powder is set to tableau. Unless ye plan on going with it, you'd better get out whilst ye can. So, no idea what accent this is supposed to be. And I'm sure this will have no long-term repercussions. None whatsoever. I cannot wait to see what lies out there in that canal. Not only do I not know what accent he's doing, I don't even know what he's saying. All right. get going back to the boat. Let's get to the boat. Ah, almost made it without combat. The boat music is always so happy. Ta-da! Well, there we have it, guys. We did it. We made it past the prologue. Just in case if you ever wondered why long prologues were a thing that happened later in the Final Fantasy games, no! We have now actually made it to the actual plot. So, I think that's going to be it for us tonight. Thanks for tuning in and watching and enjoying. As always, you can see when I'm going to be streaming by checking out my Twitter at Vricarian. Also, if you want to give us a little follow here on Twitch, we're currently working towards getting up to 50 followers by the end of NanoStreamo. Hoping to, maybe. So if you just want to click that follow, that'd be awesome. Great way to find out when I'm on, when I'm playing. And other than that, I thank you so much. Can't wait to play again.